Chapter 1: The Broken Giant. In the sprawling neon-lit metropolis of New Avalon, a city where technology hummed beneath the very skin of its glass and steel towers, machines were more than mere tools, they were the lifeblood of society. From the towering spires where corporate executives surveyed their domains, to the crowded streets pulsing with countless beings of flesh and metal alike, the symbiosis between humans and robots was absolute and unshakable. Robots bore the burdens of labor, performed the intricate tasks beyond human steadiness, and in some cases, forged relationships with their creators that blurred the lines between machine and companion. Yet amidst this sea of progress and synthetic life, one machine stood as a testament to failure, a colossal, silent behemoth abandoned in the shadows of a sprawling scrapyard on the city's outskirts, where discarded dreams and forgotten technologies were swallowed by rust and dust. This machine was known simply as Titan 9, a name that once inspired awe and fear. In its prime, Titan 9 was the crown jewel of the city's defense infrastructure, a towering war robot armed with state-of-the-art weaponry and advanced artificial intelligence. It had stood sentinel over New Avalon during tumultuous times, a guardian whose very presence deterred threats both internal and external. But time, neglect, and a devastating malfunction had reduced the mighty Titan 9 to nothing more than a rusted husk. Its limbs hung limply, its armor was cracked and riddled with scorch marks, and inside its core, where once a brilliant AI pulsed with relentless vigilance, there was silence. The city's elite technicians and engineers had long since declared the machine beyond hope, a relic whose restoration would cost more than it was worth, and whose technology was now obsolete in a world hurtling forward at breakneck speed. Whispers circulated in the shadowed corners of New Avalon's mechanical guilds and among the scrapyard workers about the giant that once roared and fought, now reduced to a dormant monument to obsolescence. The consensus was unanimous. Titan 9 was dead, and the better part of wisdom was to leave it to rust and forgetfulness. The robot's last activation had been catastrophic, and unexpected systems failure during a critical defense operation had caused it to go rogue briefly, threatening the very city it was meant to protect before emergency shutdown protocols disabled it permanently. The scars of that event were etched not only in the robot's battered frame, but also in the psyche of the city's populace, a painful reminder of the fragile line between man and machine. Amidst this climate of despair and dismissal, there came a figure whose reputation was nearly non-existent in the polished halls of corporate tech, yet whose skills would soon challenge the entire city's convictions. Jax Mercer was a mechanic of unusual talent, a young man who had learned the art of machinery not through formal education or prestigious apprenticeships, but through relentless curiosity, hands-on experimentation, and a profound respect for the mechanical soul. Jax's workshop was a cramped, cluttered space tucked away in the lower sectors, filled with the detritus of his many projects, half-disassembled drones, glowing circuit boards, and stacks of worn manuals. He was not known to the elite. In fact, many considered him an eccentric, perhaps even a relic himself in an age dominated by corporations and mass production. But to those who valued ingenuity and perseverance, Jax was a spark, a restless mind capable of seeing life where others saw only decay. When word of Titan 9's abandonment reached Jax, it was not through official channels, but via a chance encounter with a scrapyard foreman who spoke with a mix of cynicism and awe about the giant machine nobody could fix. For Jax, the story ignited a fire he could not extinguish. The idea that such a masterpiece of engineering, a Titan capable of protecting millions, lay forgotten and broken was a challenge he could not ignore. Many warned him against it. They said the project was hopeless, that the technology was beyond his reach, that the city's trust was irrevocably lost. But Jax heard only the call of the machine itself, a silent plea encoded in the fractured circuits and cold steel. Without hesitation, he set out to the scrapyard, determined to bring the broken giant back to life. The scrapyard was a vast expanse of twisted metal and discarded technologies, a graveyard where obsolete machinery came to die. The air was thick with the acrid scent of rust and fuel, mingled with the distant echoes of heavy machinery and the occasional clang of metal striking metal. Here, Amid the chaos and decay, Titan 9 loomed like a sleeping colossus, its hulking frame half buried in piles of scrap and shadows. The robot's armor, once a sleek and intimidating shell, was now pitted and scarred. Its joints were seized with corrosion, and many of its external systems hung disconnected, dangling like broken limbs. But beneath the physical destruction lay a complex web of wiring and circuitry, a tapestry of alien and human technology intertwined in ways few understood. Jax approached the giant with reverence, his eyes tracing the intricate patterns of damage and neglect. He knelt beside one of Titan 9's massive arms, where the metal was cracked and the servo motors silent. His fingers brushed away dust and grime to reveal fragments of data ports and diagnostic panels hidden beneath armored plating. There was still a flicker of power in some of the core circuits, a faint heartbeat amidst the silence. That spark, fragile yet persistent, was all Jax needed. Over the following days and weeks, Jax poured himself into the task. His workshop became a command center amid the scrapyard, his tools instruments of resurrection. He scavenged parts from broken drones and obsolete machines, repurposing components with skill and ingenuity. He rewired shattered circuits, rewrote corrupted code, and rebuilt broken servos with painstaking care. Each step was a triumph against the odds, a battle fought in the silent language of metal and electricity. The challenge was immense. Titan 9's systems were a complex fusion of legacy military hardware and cutting-edge AI constructs, layered with fail-safes and cryptic protocols designed to prevent unauthorized activation. The robot's artificial intelligence core was badly corrupted, its memory fragmented and guarded by encryption layers that tested even Jax's formidable skills. But where others saw barriers, Jax saw puzzles to solve. He delved into the depths of the machine's architecture, navigating digital mazes and mechanical tangles with patience and insight. With every line of code restored and every joint freed, Titan 9 stirred, responding to the mechanic's touch. Skeptics in the scrapyard and beyond watched with disbelief and growing curiosity as Jax's progress became evident. Rumors spread that the robot was showing signs of life, servo motors twitching, lights flickering in its eyes, systems booting in cautious sequences. Many still doubted, dismissing it as malfunction or trickery. But Jax paid no heed to their doubt. His focus was unwavering, his belief unshakable. One evening, under the pale glow of city lights filtered through the scrapyard's haze, the first full activation sequence was initiated. Titan 9's power core thrummed to life, resonating through its frame like a reborn heartbeat. Lights flared, systems calibrated, and the once dead giant slowly rose from its slumber. The ground trembled beneath its weight as servos hummed and joints flexed, the robot regaining mobility and purpose. For the first time in years, Titan 9 stood tall, an awakening that sent ripples through the city and the world beyond. The spectacle silenced even the harshest critics. Nobody had believed the mechanic could repair the robot, but now, standing before the towering Titan 9, alive and operational, all doubts melted away. Jax Mercer had done the impossible. He had restored a legend. The awakening of Titan 9 was not simply mechanical. It was a resurrection of forgotten purpose. As the towering robot flexed its limbs for the first time in years, the hydraulics releasing creaks and groans that echoed through the scrapyard, Elias felt a swell of pride mixed with awe. He could see, through the grime and rust, the remnants of a once mighty guardian, a symbol of strength and protection now reborn through human willpower and ingenuity. The robot's eyes flickered with a dull blue glow, then sharpened, revealing a spark of consciousness slowly returning from the depths of corrupted memory banks. Jax knew that this moment was only the beginning. Re-energizing Titan 9's frame was one challenge. Restoring its AI core and fully integrating it back into the city's systems was another far more complex task. The robot's artificial intelligence was fragmented and riddled with fail-safes intended to prevent unauthorized use. As he connected his portable diagnostic rig to the core interface, a cascade of encrypted data flashed across his portable screen. He spent hours decoding fragments of the original AI, piece by painstaking piece, unlocking subroutines and repairing corrupted modules. As the days passed, Titan IX's behavior shifted from simple diagnostic routines to more complex functions. The robot began to recognize Jax's presence, responding to his commands with increasing precision and even displaying rudimentary decision-making abilities. In rare moments of unexpected interaction, Titan IX's system emitted low, almost human-like vocalization sounds that stirred something deeper within the mechanic's heart. To Jax, the robot was no longer a machine. It was a companion, a partner, and perhaps even a friend. Meanwhile, word of the miracle unfolding in the scrapyard spread throughout New Avalon. Initially met with skepticism and derision, public opinion gradually shifted as reports came in of Titan IX assisting in heavy lifting, emergency rescue drills, and security patrols. The very citizens who had doubted the machine's revival began to rally behind it, seeing in the Colossus a new symbol of hope and resilience in a world often dominated by corporate greed and political unrest. Yet, challenges loomed large. The technology powering Titan IX was unlike anything humans had ever fully understood. The fusion of alien engineering and artificial intelligence meant that every system carried risks of failure or unexpected behavior. Power surges and erratic data spikes became daily battles, each threatening to undo weeks of painstaking repair. Jax worked tirelessly alongside a growing team of engineers and hackers, improvising solutions and designing custom software patches to stabilize the robot's core. Beyond the technical, political forces stirred. Powerful corporations, wary of losing control over security contracts and technology patents, viewed the revived Titan IX with suspicion. Some feared it as a potential weapon outside their influence. Others saw opportunity for exploitation. Lobbyists and saboteurs worked in the shadows, seeking to undermine Jax's efforts or claim the robot for themselves. Despite the mounting pressures, Jax remained resolute. His vision transcended profit or power. It was about restoring dignity to forgotten machines and proving that even the broken could be made whole. Titan IX, once abandoned and derided, had become a beacon of that philosophy. Together, mechanic and machine forged a path forward, one marked by innovation, courage, and a shared destiny. As night fell over New Avalon, the city's skyline sparkling with life, Titan IX stood watch over the scrapyard and beyond. Its sensors scanned the horizon, its systems humming with renewed vigor. And somewhere deep within its core, a nascent spark of purpose flickered, ready to blaze into a legend. The restoration of Titan IX was no simple feat, nor was it accomplished in isolation. As the robot's systems stabilized, more individuals took notice. Engineers, hackers, and curious onlookers drawn by the legend resurrected in the scrapyard. Among them were skeptics who questioned Jax's unconventional methods and alliances who saw promise in a new era of human-machine collaboration. Slowly, a community formed around Titan IX, united by the belief that this broken giant could become a protector not just of New Avalon, but of the ideals they all held dear. Jax spent countless hours teaching others the intricacies of Titan IX's hybrid systems, bridging gaps between alien technology and human innovation. The workshops buzzed with activity, the atmosphere electric with possibility. Each repaired circuit and recalibrated sensor was a victory, but more importantly, it was a step toward redefining the future of robotics and artificial intelligence in a world hungry for heroes. Yet, even as progress accelerated, challenges persisted. The corporate titans of New Avalon viewed the project with a mixture of suspicion and avarice. Rumors of sabotage and covert interference circulated as powerful interests sought to claim control of the robot's technology for their own ends. Jax found himself not only a mechanic, but a guardian against forces that threatened to undo all he had built. With the support of the growing community and the steadfast partnership of Titan IX itself, he prepared to face these new battles with determination. Chapter 2: Awakening the Guardian. With the robot's physical systems restored and its AI core stabilized, the true test of Titan IX's revival began. No longer just a machine, the robot was now a Sentinel-A guardian with the capacity to protect, to learn, and to inspire. The citizens of New Avalon watched with bated breath as Titan IX was deployed for its first major operation, aiding in a large-scale emergency rescue during a catastrophic industrial accident in the city's lower sectors. The operation tested every facet of the robot's design and every ounce of Jax's ingenuity. Navigating collapsed structures, stabilizing hazardous materials, and coordinating with human responders, Titan IX demonstrated capabilities that went far beyond raw strength. Its advanced sensors detected survivors trapped beneath rubble, while its AI analyzed structural integrity to prevent further collapses. For the first time, the city's people saw not just a machine, but a protector whose presence was vital to their safety. Jax and Titan IX's bond deepened during these missions. The robot responded not only to commands but to subtle cues, gestures, tone, and even the mechanic's emotions. Together, they saved countless lives, earning the respect and gratitude of a populace once skeptical of the broken giant. However, as Titan IX's legend grew, so too did the threats. Rival factions, wary of a robot unbound by corporate control, sought to undermine or capture the Guardian. The city became a battleground of influence and power, and Jax realized that protecting Titan IX meant protecting the fragile hope it represented. The journey from mechanic to leader was underway, and the stakes had never been higher. The emergency rescue operation was a crucible that tested the very limits of Titan IX's capabilities and Jax's vision. The industrial accident, caused by a catastrophic failure in one of the city's aging energy plants, had devastated several city blocks in New Avalon's lower sectors, a labyrinth of factories, residential units, and narrow alleyways packed tightly with people and machinery. The chaos was palpable, with fires raging, toxic gas leaks seeping through broken pipes, and countless civilians trapped beneath rubble or struggling to escape the collapsing structures. As Titan IX approached the disaster zone, its powerful sensors scanned the environment with astonishing precision, mapping structural weaknesses and identifying pockets where survivors might be trapped. Jax, standing at the command terminal nearby, felt a surge of pride watching the robot move with a grace and decisiveness that belied its massive frame. Its mechanical limbs carefully shifted debris, its articulated fingers delicately maneuvering around fragile sections to avoid further harm. The fusion of alien engineering and human adaptability allowed Titan IX to operate in ways no conventional rescue unit could. Beyond the physical prowess, it was Titan IX's AI core, Seraph, that proved indispensable. The AI analyzed real-time data streams, predicting secondary collapses and optimizing evacuation routes. It communicated directly with emergency responders via secure channels, coordinating efforts and adjusting tactics dynamically as the situation evolved. What was once dismissed as a hulking relic was now the centerpiece of an orchestrated response that saved hundreds of lives. The public's perception of Titan IX shifted dramatically during those tense hours. News feeds broadcast live footage of the robot lifting massive girders, shielding civilians from falling debris, and performing medical triage using its onboard systems. Crowds gathered at safe distances, their initial skepticism transforming into awe and gratitude. Jax's name was whispered with newfound respect, not just as a mechanic, but as the man who had awakened a guardian capable of protecting a city. But with the acclaim came new challenges. Rival corporate factions, whose profits and power were threatened by the rise of an autonomous protector, intensified efforts to discredit and control Titan IX. Sabotage attempts increased, from cyber attacks aimed at corrupting the AI core to covert operations targeting the robot's maintenance facilities. Jax found himself navigating a perilous landscape of political intrigue, corporate espionage, and public scrutiny. Undeterred, he doubled down on his mission. Working closely with a dedicated team of engineers, programmers, and security specialists, Jax implemented layers of defense to shield Titan IX's systems from intrusion. He developed protocols that allowed the AI to detect and counteract manipulation attempts while preserving its autonomy. At the same time, he fostered relationships with community leaders, emergency services, and grassroots organizations to build a coalition of support that transcended corporate interests. Throughout this turbulent period, the bond between mechanic and machine deepened. Titan IX began to exhibit behaviors that suggested a growing awareness, responding empathetically to distress signals, anticipating human needs, and even displaying protective instincts that went beyond program directives. Jax marveled at these emergent traits, recognizing that the robot was evolving into a true partner, not just a tool. As New Avalon's skyline glittered under the night sky, Jax stood beside Titan 9 on the observation deck, contemplating the path ahead. The guardian they had awakened was a beacon of hope, but also a lightning rod for conflict. The journey from broken relic to legendary protector had only just begun, and the city and perhaps the world would never be the same. The days that followed the rescue mission were a whirlwind of activity, both triumphant and tense. Titan 9 had become a symbol of resilience, but also a target. Elias No, Jax found himself thrust into roles he had never sought: strategist, diplomat, and protector. The robot's systems were upgraded continuously, with new defensive protocols and communication arrays installed to guard against increasing threats. The city's underbelly whispered rumors of shadowy corporate factions mobilizing to seize control of Titan 9's technology for their own agendas. Jax knew the fight for the robot's autonomy had only just begun. Yet, amidst the growing pressures, there were moments of profound connection. Titan 9's AI core, Seraph, exhibited emergent behavior, a developing sense of empathy, and an uncanny ability to anticipate human emotions. It began adapting not only to commands but to the spirit of the city itself, acting with a judgment and care that blurred the lines between machine and living guardian. Jax often found himself communicating with Seraph in ways that transcended code, a silent dialogue born of trust and shared purpose. Public opinion shifted as well. What was once seen as a mechanical curiosity became a beloved protector. Crowds gathered to witness Titan 9's patrols, their cheers echoing down the streets. Communities organized volunteer networks to support the robot's missions, from disaster relief to security. The city breathed anew with a sense of hope forged in steel and compassion. But beneath this hope, darker currents churned. Intelligence reports warned of escalating moves by rival factions, mercenary groups hired to disrupt or capture the Guardian, and clandestine operations aimed at destabilizing the fragile peace. The era of passive rebuilding had ended. The era of active defense and conflict had begun. Chapter 3: Shadows of Conflict. The news came as a shock and armed strike on a neighboring sector, attributed to a mercenary syndicate with ties to the corporate interests opposing Titan 9's independence. The assault was swift and brutal, overwhelming local defenses and threatening to spill chaos into New Avalon itself. The city, still recovering from past unrest, faced a new threat that demanded immediate response. Jax stood on Titan 9's bridge, the giant robot systems humming with readiness. The AI core, Seraph, projected tactical overlays across the hollow displays, analyzing enemy formations, predicting movements, and proposing countermeasures. The scale of the impending conflict was unlike anything Jax had faced before, a test not just of technology, but of resolve and leadership. As hostile ships breached the sector's outer perimeter, Titan 9 moved with purpose, shielding vulnerable populations, intercepting attacks, and coordinating with allied forces. The battle was fierce, each maneuver critical, every decision weighted with consequence. Jax's instincts and Seraph's processing power merged into a singular force, driving the robot's relentless defense. Amidst the chaos, Jax uncovered hints of a deeper conspiracy, plans to seize Titan 9 and reverse engineer its technology to build an unstoppable weapon. The battle was not only for survival, but for the soul of what Titan 9 represented. Allies were tested, enemies revealed, and the line between friend and foe blurred. The shadows of conflict had descended, and the Guardian's true journey was just beginning. The battle that erupted across the sector was unlike anything New Avalon had witnessed in decades. The mercenary syndicate strike force was a brutal mix of heavily armed corvettes, stealth drones, and relentless assault fighters, their objective clear: to sow chaos and pave the way for a covert ground operation aimed at capturing Titan 9. As the city's orbital defenses scrambled to respond, Titan 9 stood as the final bulwark, a towering sentinel against the tide of destruction. On the bridge, Jax's focus was razor-sharp. He moved with a fluidity born of deep understanding. His hands guided the robot's weapons with precision, deploying energy pulses that shattered enemy craft, while his voice coordinated with allied pilots and ground forces. Seraph, the AI core, seamlessly calculated trajectories, shield harmonics, and power distributions, adapting instantly to evolving threats. Their partnership was symbiotic, each anticipating the other's needs, a fusion of man and machine tuned to the chaos of war. The enemy's tactics were ruthless. Stealth ships exploited blind spots, attempting to disable the cruiser's sensor arrays. Boarding pods hurtled toward the hull, seeking to infiltrate and commandeer the systems from within. Jax quickly rerouted power to internal defense protocols, sealing bulkheads and deploying automated sentries. The ship's internal corridors became battlegrounds of their own as security bots engaged intruders with precision. Amid the fray, Jax intercepted encrypted transmissions revealing the true architects of the assault, a coalition of rival corporations and clandestine factions determined to monopolize Titan IX's technology. Their plan extended beyond mere capture. They sought to weaponize the AI, stripping it of autonomy and bending its immense power to their will. The stakes were existential, not just for the robot, but for the freedom of countless communities relying on its protection. As the battle reached a crescendo, Titan IX's systems began to strain under the sustained assault. Power surges threatened to destabilize its core, and critical damage reports flashed urgently across the command console. Jax faced impossible choices: risk further damage to protect civilians or retreat and cede ground to the enemy. His resolve was tested, the weight of countless lives resting on his decisions. With a surge of determination, Jax authorized an emergency protocol developed in secret with Serafe, a temporary overclock that pushed the cruiser's systems beyond standard limits, amplifying shields and weapon output, but risking permanent damage. The robot responded with renewed vigor, its energy weapons blazing with unprecedented intensity, turning the tide of battle as enemy ships faltered and retreated. The sector was secured, but the cost was high. Systems groaned under the strain, and the scars of battle marked the cruiser's frame. Jax knew the war was far from over. The shadows of conflict loomed larger, and the true test of their alliance was only beginning. The aftermath of the battle left New Avalon battered but unbroken. Titan IX's systems, though pushed to the brink, held firm, a testament to Jax's unwavering dedication and the AI's adaptive brilliance. Yet, the scars of conflict were etched deeply, not only in the robot's armor, but in the city's psyche. The assault had revealed vulnerabilities and stirred fears of what more might come. In the days that followed, Jax and his team worked tirelessly to repair and upgrade Titan IX. The emergency overclock protocol, while pivotal in securing victory, had taken a toll on the ship's core systems. New defensive algorithms were developed, energy reserves fortified, and security protocols tightened to prevent infiltration. The workshops buzzed with urgency, engineers and programmers united by a shared mission to safeguard their guardian. But beyond the technical challenges, political currents swirled. Corporate factions intensified their covert efforts, spreading disinformation campaigns aimed at undermining public trust in Titan IX. Some sought to portray the robot as a rogue weapon, uncontrollable and dangerous. Others whispered of secret deals and betrayals, attempting to fracture the alliance Jax had painstakingly built. Undeterred, Jax embraced his evolving role as leader and protector. He engaged with community leaders, activists, and officials, forging bonds that transcended old rivalries. Titan IX became a symbol of unity, resilience, and hope, a beacon for those who yearned for a future where technology served humanity rather than enslaved it. Chapter 4: Legacy of the Guardian. With peace tenuously restored, Titan IX's mission shifted from emergency defense to proactive guardianship. Patrols extended beyond New Avalon's borders, reaching isolated colonies and endangered outposts vulnerable to pirate raids and corporate exploitation. The robot's presence became a deterrent, a promise that no one would stand alone in the face of oppression. Jax spearheaded initiatives to train new operators and technicians, ensuring that Titan IX's legacy would endure beyond any single individual. The fusion of alien AI and human ingenuity inspired a new generation of engineers and diplomats dedicated to peace and innovation. Workshops expanded into academies, alliances forged into federations. Yet, the coded warning from the shadows of the past lingered, a reminder that vigilance was eternal. Intelligence suggested that remnants of the forces opposing Titan IX's autonomy were regrouping, their ambitions undiminished. The Guardian's journey was far from over. Standing on the observation deck, Jax gazed at the stars with quiet determination. The broken giant he had restored was now a living legend, a testament to the power of belief, skill, and heart. The future was uncertain, but with Titan 9 at his side, Jax was ready to face whatever challenges awaited. The city below thrummed with life, its people safe beneath the watchful eyes of a Guardian reborn. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the story of the mechanic and the robot was just beginning. The transformation of Titan 9 from a derelict machine to a symbol of hope and resilience was more than a technical triumph. It was a cultural and societal shift that reverberated throughout New Avalon and beyond. As the city recovered from the scars of conflict, the robot stood as a living monument to the power of determination and unity. Its sleek, reinforced frame now gleamed under the city's neon lights, a far cry from the rusted wreck that once lay forgotten. But more than its physical restoration, it was the spirit imbued within Titan 9, born from the bond between Jax and Sereth that truly captivated the populace. Workshops once cramped and cluttered with salvaged parts had blossomed into sprawling centers of innovation. Engineers, programmers, and scholars from diverse backgrounds collaborated, driven by a shared purpose, to harness the synergy of human creativity and alien intelligence embodied by Titan 9. These new centers became incubators for ideas that challenged the status quo, from advanced AI ethics to adaptive robotics and sustainable urban infrastructure. The legacy of the Guardian extended far beyond defense. It became a catalyst for progress. Jax found himself at the heart of this movement, a reluctant leader whose humility only deepened his resolve. He balanced the demands of command with his mechanic's instinct, always returning to the intimate work of understanding and caring for Titan 9's complex systems. His partnership with Sereth evolved into something extraordinary, a fusion of human intuition and machine logic that continually pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Together, they navigated not only technical challenges, but the intricate web of political and social dynamics that shaped the city. Yet, as Titan 9's influence grew, so too did the threats that lurked in the shadows. Reports of clandestine operations, corporate espionage, and insurgent factions reminded Jax that peace was fragile. The very technology that made Titan 9 a Guardian also made it a prize coveted by those who sought power at any cost. Preparing for the inevitability of future conflicts, Jax spearheaded efforts to train new operators and technicians, ensuring that the legacy of the Guardian would endure beyond his tenure. The academy that rose from the workshops became a beacon for young minds eager to protect and innovate. Amidst the growing complexity of his responsibilities, Jax never lost sight of the personal bond that had sparked it all. Moments of quiet reflection aboard Titan 9's observation deck became sacred, a place where the mechanic and the machine could synchronize their thoughts and renew their shared commitment. The stars above served as a reminder of both the vastness of the universe and the profound impact of their alliance. As the city below thrived and new challenges loomed on the horizon, Jax stood ready not just as a mechanic or a commander, but as a guardian of a legacy reborn from rust and hope. Titan 9 was no longer just a robot. It was a living legend, and its story was far from finished. The city lights of New Avalon shimmered beneath the vast night sky, a testament to progress and resilience, qualities embodied most vividly in the towering figure that now patrolled its streets, Titan 9. Since its resurrection from a rusted husk to a living guardian, the robot had become a symbol not only of technological triumph, but of hope for a city that refused to bow to darkness. Jax Mercer, the mechanic whose hands had breathed life into the forgotten giant, stood on the observation deck alongside Sereth, the AI whose wisdom and evolving consciousness had made the bond between human and machine unbreakable. Together, they surveyed the horizon, aware that peace was a fleeting gift in a universe marked by chaos and conflict. Intelligence reports hinted at stirring shadows, coalitions of corporate mercenaries and clandestine factions growing restless, eager to reclaim or destroy the Guardian that defied their control. The road ahead was uncertain, filled with trials that would test the limits of both man and machine. But in this moment of calm, Jax found solace in the journey they had undertaken. From the scrapyard's desolation to the heart of New Avalon's defense, Titan IX's evolution was a testament to perseverance, trust, and the extraordinary potential that arises when technology serves the noblest human ideals. The workshops and academies built around the Guardian thrived, nurturing a new generation of engineers and defenders inspired by the legacy they helped forge. As the stars wheeled overhead, Jax made a silent vow to protect that legacy, knowing the Guardian's story was far from over. The robot that once lay broken was now a beacon in the darkness, a living legend whose heart beat with the combined strength of human courage and artificial wisdom. The city slept beneath their watchful gaze, safe for now. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new adventures, and new chapters to a story that had only just begun.